Hi, my name's Alonia and I'm a super duper amateur orchid grower here in beautiful Sydney. And most of what I have learnt has come from Matthew in Melbourne, whom I've never met, but he is in a somewhat similar growing area to me. He's 900 kilometres south in Melbourne, in the city, and their winters, like ours, don't freeze, but they do get cool-ish. With minimum overnights for me at around about 7 degrees Celsius, so I can grow cool, warm and intermediate orchids here. I have very little growing space inside. I have a kitchen window which is north facing, and that is it. So my collection is very small. I've only started. I have a Phalaenopsis, which is a no name, from Bunnings, which is my big box store. I have a Cymbidium in the same colourway, which is yellow with a red throat. And I have an Oncidium currently probably unhappy in my kitchen, but my kitchen window has a fly screen and it is a little shaded. Right now I have rescued 3 orchids from Bunnings, and these are little seedlings, which I will just flip the camera around and I will show you. So the first little seedling I have here is a Dendrobium Sunny Eyes. It is a 2nd year growth by the looks of it. It has the primary shoot with a nice new growth coming off the bottom. It is in a peat plug, but the roots are coming out from underneath and they look fairly happy actually. Is Cymbidium Red Radiance. It has a slightly damaged leaf which I trim off, and it's again in a plug, and the roots are here. I have wet the plug down to try and prise that off. And Cymbidium Red. Here I have Cymbidium Pekkret Carnival Apricot. Again, this one actually looks pretty good. I think there might be a little subleaf down there, but these are 1st year. Again in a plug, but the roots look pretty nice and clear. So I'm going to repot. I am filming on my phone. In front of me I have out of the bag orchid mix, which is a specialty potting mix I got from Bunnings again. I have some mycorrhizal fungi, which Matthew also recommended. I have some little terracotta pots. I prefer terracotta pots. I've got nothing really in terracotta pots outside. I've got a ceramic pot with that is a pruned back regular oregano, and that's about it. I have some little succulents which are in terracotta pots. Those are recent transfers. So coming back to my tiny little wrought iron shelf with my potting pot on top, I have got here my orchid mix. So in the orchid mix I've also going to put some perlite, which I will just put on, and okay, I'm back, and I've now just added some perlite to this orchid mix, and I also have some wet down sphagnum moss which I will throw in here. The reason I've wet it down, probably because I've never used it before, and this is my first ever video, so we will throw a little bit of that in there, break it up, and then we'll just mix it all through. Alright. Okay, I've given that a thorough mix, and you can't see the sphagnum moss, but it is in there. It's in here. I have broken it up a little bit because these are going into about a 4-inch pot from Bunnings. Let's have a look. It's usually written on here somewhere. No, and I'm getting my fingerprints all over it. That's fine. Okay, so I've got a few of these pots, and we will start to fill up this pot. So I am going to put in a generous handful of our in here. So we've put in a little about, I don't know, a third or so. I'm going to take my first one, place it in, need a little bit more. So place it in just to test it. I am going to cut that dead piece of leaf off. These things were bone dry when I picked them up today. I ride a motorbike and nothing spilt on my motorbike. Alright. I'm just going to pause for a minute and depot this first Cymbidium Red Radiance. Okay, so I have, I'll just turn this camera around. I have actually sprayed this down. It's absolutely rock solid. So I might just have to leave that one for a little bit. I do have a Dendrobium here, which has been sitting overnight in its sunny eyes. It's been sitting overnight in its peat plug and it might just come away. So I will see if I can. I don't even have a camera stand, I'm that new, but let me just unplug that. It's got a nice root that's coming out of the bottom of the pot there. Okay, so this stuff is really spongy. I'm pressing on that quite a lot and it's just reforming. So I will just try and get out of my, whoopsie, me kicking over a thing. Try and gently tease this stuff off the roots here. I'll come back. So the roots are fairly good, nice and healthy. There's actually no dead roots on this one. It's in really good nick, beautiful colour on the leaves there. But we will go ahead and we will put it into the pot. Okay, I've unpotted the second Cymbidium, Pekkret, Carnival, Apricot, and looking at it, there looks to be like a dead root right in the centre here. So I will take a look at that and come back and let you know what I find. Just to note, these peat plugs are really spongy, and for those who might keep an aquarium, I keep aquariums as well, the actual consistency is like spongy, like rock wool that you get on the bottom of aquatic plants, which I never leave in the rock wool, but alright, here we go. Okay, this one doesn't look so great. There's a dead root there, but that looks like a good root, and there is other roots coming out, so it's taken a few sprays to get this one to release. Okay, so this one's roots aren't quite so great. There's a few dead roots there, but there are a few nice. There's a not so great one in the middle, and I will go around and trim those off with my trusty scissors, which I have sterilized with a rubbing alcohol. In this case it's a little isocol, which one I got from Aussie Gardeners, which I will show link down below, when I was doing plant food production. Alright, we will come back. Okay, so I've trimmed off the dodgy roots. There's a little bit of the peat plug there, but that's not coming off. But the rest of the roots actually look nice and green, and that one looks a little dry, but it's still spongy. So, alright, well, I will pot this. I've got some mix in the pot there. If I can get a nice shot of it. There's a bit of mycorrhizal fungi to help support the root growth and get the nutrients the plant requires. I will come back and show you the 3 repotted little orchids, and all planted in the same way. Okay, so I have repotted 3 orchids, the 2 Cymbidiums and a Dendrobium, which I have promptly lost the label for, so I'll have to look back and see what it is. I do have here a little jug. It's a little 1 cup measuring cup from Bunnings, my local big box store, with a very small amount of sea salt. It's not a plant food, it's a garden health treatment. Matthew calls it a tonic. So I've put just the smallest amount, maybe 1 ml in my 250 ml cup, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a water. So just a little bit of water to soak through, get those mycorrhizal fungi active to help especially this little Cymbidium that doesn't have a lot of roots. My camera skills is not great, so I'm going to let this soak through. And I do have a little bit left, a strawberry which isn't doing too great, so I might just give that a little bit of water as well, and maybe a little in the oregano with a little solar light. There's a pineapple over the back there. So that has soaked through for the most part, so I will take those out of there in a little bit. She might take them out now, and I'm going to leave them on this particular shelf for a couple of weeks while they settle into their new digs. It's an east facing balcony, so they should be fine, and I will just tip this into the very, very struggling chard. It's not going to hurt it. I will see you all next time. This is my very first video and I have no idea if I'll do another one, but thanks for watching.